Well, welcome everyone. We are so excited to meet with you today. My name is Sabella Robison, and I am the director of the One Stop Student Center here at USD. And thank you for joining us for Get Down to Business, paying your bill, getting your financial aid, and avoiding long lines. I've got a number of colleagues with me, and they are all excited to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brandon McCurry. I work in our residential life office, predominantly supporting our students that live on campus in any needs that they might have. So I'm happy to talk to you a little bit about what you can expect over the summer and then move in for the residence halls. And I'll also speak a little bit about our dining services on campus as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miranda Nuevo. I am a one-stop counselor. So any questions that come through One Stop regarding financial aid, student accounts and billing, or registration, we're here to support you.
Everyone, I'm Rachel Destiny. I am also a counselor at the One Stop Student Center, and we are here to help you and advocate for you. So come visit us.
Wonderful. Okay, so you've met the whole crew. Now we're going to jump in and we'll look at today's agenda. So the things we're going to be talking about today include meal plans, ID cards. Brandon already gave you a sneak preview, some things about housing. We're going to take a look at your My San Diego portal, and specifically, we're going to look at FERPA and explain what that means. We'll take a look at some different tabs in your portal, from the My Academics page to the financial aid to your bill. We're going to talk about health insurance, and then we're going to wrap things up by showing you the wonderful My San Diego mobile app. So I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to Brandon, and he's going to get us started.
Awesome. Thanks, Sabella. So, when we're talking about, dining services and the services provided under our auxiliary team, we wanted to highlight a few different things that are specific to you all coming in your first year. Starting first with kind of the required meal plans for our students. So all of our first and second year students that live on campus are also required to have a certain meal plan. Specific to our first year students, that meal plan is something that you don't have to necessarily worry about selecting yourself. It'll just be pre-assigned by July 1st. To do that, you can actually check your My San Diego portal, or to check the status of your meal plan through the links listed below, or the pathway listed there. As a reminder, any students that are living on campus in their first and second year that also have units that qualify them as a first and second year student, which means less than 60 units completed, are required to have that meal plan. Students are always welcome to add to that meal plan, whether that's done through dining dollars or campus cash, or through meal swipes. And those can be added by your team or by your family at any point over the course of the summer after July 1st, or even into the start of the semester. You say you get into the start of the semester and you realize the minimum plan isn't necessarily enough for you, you can add at that point too. You just can't go backwards or lower your plan at that point. Now, one of the things that I mentioned there, the meal swipes, the dining dollars, campus cash, they're different forms of the meal plan. Your meal plan is going to include a combination of dining dollars and meal swipes. The meal swipes help you get a specified amount of funds for a meal. That can be used either at the Student Life Pavilion, our main dining facility, for dinner or for brunch on the weekends. And it gives you actually an option for a la carte, or all you can eat meals at that time, or they can be translated into different meals that are surrounding meal locations or eatery locations, where you can use them to for a certain amount for an a la carte order. The dining dollars function almost like a debit card. You can use those at any of our eateries to pay for a la carte options. And then campus cash is something that's a little bit separate from the meal plan, but can be used not just for food or added in addition to the meal plan, but can also be used at different other purchases around campus, like at the Torero store for books or other supplies. We do have a few new dining locations that are opening in the new Canals Center on campus, which is connected to the business school and program. And so we're really excited about the two features that are opening there, with some really kind of new age technology pieces to them that are going to create a cool new experience for our students when they're ordering meals from there. Another big piece of being a USD student is your ID card. Your ID card is what helps you be identified around campus, but it also functions in a number of different ways to help you, such as it actually carries your meal plan on it and your meal swipes, and it functions as your room key when you're living on campus. It helps you actually access your room. If you can upload your photo for your ID card prior to August 1st through the pathway listed there, we can actually print that ID card for you prior to your move-in. And so when you move onto the campus, we can have your ID card already printed and coded at your residence hall and can provide it for you right then and there. If you upload it after the fact, that's okay. You can still pick it up from our campus card office once you arrive on campus. But we do encourage you to get it in prior to August 1st so that we can have it right for you at move-in. Textbooks, pre-orders for course material, you could do that by August 21st online, and they'll be actually ready for you to pick up during your orientation. So orientation is going to start that Saturday, August 27th with move-in, and continue over the next few days until classes actually begin. And so during that time, you'll have an opportunity to visit the Trader store, pick up books that you've ordered in advance of August 21st there, and move on with the next steps that you'll have to take care of during orientation. So we encourage you to do some pre-orders if you can. And the final piece I'll mention here on this page is that auxiliary services actually covers a lot of different parts of our campus and different ways to support you, whether that's the things I've already mentioned or the mail center, the copy center, different banking on campus, zip cars that are provided on campus for car rentals for you when you don't have your vehicle as a first year student. So we encourage you to take a look at their website listed at the top there for any and all of the resources available to you. So pivoting a little bit into the residential experience. So our occupancy and things have adjusted over the last couple of years due to the pandemic. So wanting to provide just a quick update of where we are today and going into this fall semester. We are returning to an almost completely typical occupancy setup for this coming year. For our first year students, that means occupancy in single rooms, double rooms, and triple rooms. Most of our first year students, almost all, will share some type of common room and bathroom with other students, depending on the housing area that they're living in. And then the bedroom occupancy is again going to be that single, double, or triple setup. As I think most people know now, all of our housing is actually tied directly to the living learning communities, the LLCs. And so for us, the living learning communities and their themes are actually direct ways for students to see the values of the institution play out both in the classroom in their first year experience, but also tied to some of the programming that's going to be happening in the residence halls, whether that's done by their faculty members and the coordinators of their living learning community, or by the resident assistants, the RAs, that are the student leaders that live in the residence halls. We also have scholastic assistants, SAs, who are student leaders similar to the RAs, but very focused on the academic experience. So helping our students maneuver their first year within the LLC, but also all of their coursework in general, helping with things such as, how do I have a conversation with a faculty member? How do I visit them during their office hours? How do I register for courses for next semester? So the RAs, the SAs, those are two really key student leaders that are really influential in the LLC living experience. As all of you have now done, the advising questionnaires that you completed when they opened in May, those are helping to guide your LLC assignment. And from there, the LLC assignment helps guide your housing assignment and which housing area you'll live in. For more information about those things, you can visit the Residential Life website and the Living Learning Communities websites to see more information specific about the LLCs, but also about your housing area or the housing area that those LLCs exist in. Throughout the course of the year, as I mentioned, we'll do a lot of programming around the academic experience that you're learning about in the classroom, tied to the one LLC course that you have. You'll do some co-programming with the faculty members there and some experiences with other courses that are perhaps different than the one that your LLC course is, but have some type of linked agenda or component that links to the theme of the LLC. And then the RAs and the staff members that work in my team in Residential Life will be doing a lot of supportive programming to help you not only community build and meet the people that live around you, but also connect, again, your experience in the classroom to the themes and the values of the institution at USD. Specific information about your LLC, your housing, your class schedule in general for all the courses you'll be taking, your roommate information, all of that's going to be released to your USD email sometime in mid-July. So that's just something to keep an eye out for a lot of reasons, to keep an eye on your email address, but specifically we'll be releasing that information to your email address in mid-July. As I mentioned before, move-in day, which kind of kicks off orientation and OLE days, is Saturday, August 27th. In the early August time period, you're actually going to get some really more specific information about a move-in time block, directions and information on where to move in, information about sending packages in advance or sending your mail in advance to our central mail center, and how to access those things once you get to campus. Will also be coming in that. But we're excited. That's a really fun, exciting day as folks move in, and a lot of energy around being new Toreros. And so we really look forward to move-in day for everyone. And as I mentioned before, more information is definitely available on our website, and our website will continue to evolve with as we get further along in the summer with more of this information. And so you can check that out at the address listed there. With that, I'm going to pass it to Miranda.
Great, thanks, Brandon. So hi, everyone. Again, my name is Miranda. I'm one of the one-stop counselors that'll be supporting you during your time at USD. And so just to kind of kick it off, One Stop is here to answer any questions you may have regarding financial aid, billing and payment, registration, kind of like I said. Information on all these topics is available on our website at www.sandiego.edu/one-stop. If you have additional questions or need further assistance after reviewing the website, we're also available via phone, email, in person. If you wanted to, you could also set up a phone appointment, and we have the link to our Calendly appointments on the screen as well, if you wanted to have a more in-depth conversation with someone over the phone or at a scheduled time. In addition to the website, there's also a lot of really useful information available on your My San Diego portal. So we'll be going over that next on the next slide. So here we have a screenshot of the My San Diego portal. This is what it looks like when students log in. There is a navigation panel on the left-hand side that has various tabs, including the admissions tab, which you might be familiar with already. In addition, there's the Torero Hub tab, which is the tab that we'll be reviewing more in depth throughout this presentation. We recommend that you explore the My San Diego portal when you get a chance, since there's a lot of resources here that'll be really helpful during your time at USD. As a new incoming student, we want to ensure that you're doing everything you need to do over the summer for a smooth transition to USD in the fall. So to help organize what needs to be done, we have this new student checklist for you. It's where you can track your to-dos, and it's under the admissions tab of the portal under the new students tab. So from that welcome page, you'll go to the admissions tab and then click new students, and then that checklist will show up. This is a screenshot of what it looks like. You'll notice the advising questionnaire is at the top of the list, and it's really important. As Brandon kind of mentioned, based on your responses to this questionnaire, your academic advisors are going to build your fall schedule for you. So if you haven't already, please submit this ASAP. Once you've started attending USD, One Stop can assist with any kind of registration questions. But in the meantime, we ask that any questions that you have regarding advising, basically any academic advising questions, you'll work with your faculty living learning community advisor or your LLC advisor. Another really important topic to discuss, especially as a new student, as you're beginning your time at USD, is FERPA, or the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Essentially, this is a federal law that protects the privacy of student records and involves restricting access and release of the records information. Right now, during the summer, parents and guardians are allowed certain rights and access to their students' records. But come the start of school, federal law states that only students can access their records, and we can't share that information on the records unless someone is FERPA authorized. And we'll discuss that on the next slide. So students can submit the FERPA authorization for specific individuals, and this would grant specific access to their records. This is particularly important to keep in mind for students who want to give permission and access to those who will be helping them financially while they're attending school. To set up access for specific people, you can navigate to the My San Diego portal, and then underneath the Torero Hub tab, you'll navigate to the FERPA portlet. You'll see there's a couple yellow arrows on the screen to direct you to that. Under the profile section, you'll see the profiles of those that you have authorized via FERPA. And then on the next slide, we can show you what that authorization section looks like. That is where students can select what aspects of their account or their record they would like each authorized user to have access to. So these areas include academics, financial aid, student accounts, and USD maintained loans. Students can grant access to all or specific areas, though we generally say it's a little difficult to have conversations regarding financial aid without having access to student accounts and vice versa. So just keep that in mind. And additionally, authorized users with access to student accounts or student accounts permission will receive a notification when billing statements are ready to view. Students have the ability to add, change, remove, any of the above, update their permissions and the authorized users at any time. So hopefully this is helpful in organizing those next steps for you in regards to FERPA, but for the time being, I'm going to pass it off to Sibylla with information about financial aid.
Great, thank you, Miranda. All right, everyone. So let's talk about financial aid. There are a couple different ways to apply, and many of you have probably already submitted your application. If you haven't, that's okay, but we do recommend that you get it in as soon as possible. So you can see here that you'll either be submitting the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, or the California DREAM Act application or USD DREAM Act application. If you don't know which one you should be doing, please reach out to One Stop and we can help you. This is an application that if you're planning to use financial aid does have to be done every year, and it opens up for the upcoming school year on October 1st of every year, and your due date is going to be March 2nd. Now, if you for some reason miss March 2nd, just know you're not out of luck. You can still submit it. For example, right now, we're past March, but do get that in as soon as possible. So let's talk a little bit more about financial aid and kind of what that means, because it can be a little bit confusing. So a financial aid offer includes scholarships, grants, student employment, and loans. So it can be a combination of all of these different things. And if you don't see all of those as part of your financial aid award offer, don't worry. Everybody's financial aid award offer looks a little bit different. A couple key points I did want to mention. You may see a USD Merit Scholarship as part of your financial aid award offer. If that is the case, please know that you must be a full-time student. So you must have at least 12 units minimum each semester and a minimum GPA of 3.0 for that to get renewed each year. If you have something called a USD grant as part of your financial aid award offer, this is something that was awarded to you based off of your FAFSA information because it is a need-based grant. So it will be important that you do your FAFSA every year to be considered for this again. Unlike the Merit Scholarship, this one can change year to year depending on your FAFSA information. It does also carry with it a requirement of a 2.0 GPA. Something else you're likely to see as part of your financial aid award offer would be loans. So there are 3 different loans that you may see on there. Subsidized loan and the unsubsidized loan that you're seeing on your screen, those are going to be student loans that you would borrow in your name. And then you would also potentially see a Parent Plus loan in your offer. This would be a loan that your parent would decide to borrow if they choose on your behalf. And it does require that you have your parent complete a credit check to get approved. So all of these requirements are laid out on your portal, but if you have questions, please do reach out to us. The 23-24 FAFSA DREAM Act application and USD DREAM Act application deadline, as I mentioned before, is March 2nd, and we will see the one coming out for your second year of school in October, and that will use 2021 tax information. So just remember, financial aid always uses tax information from 2 years prior. Let's move on to the next slide. So taking a look at your financial aid, you can see all of this in your portal. So if you haven't had a chance to look at this yet, we highly encourage you to do so. You're going to click on Torero Hub and then My Financial Aid. And what you can see here is you have a section called Financial Aid Requirements. And thus far, you might have been viewing your financial aid in the Admissions tab. That's another way that you can view it. But what you'll see is any outstanding requirements, like you see pictured here, will have a little red mark next to them. And anything green will mean that you've satisfied the requirement. And anything yellow will mean you've turned something in and it's under review. In the gray box where it says Financial Aid Offers, this is where you can review your financial aid award offer and you can decide to accept or decline things. So let's look a little bit deeper on what you're going to see. So when you click on that financial aid offers, you're going to be able to see a page that looks like this, which is your financial aid status. So it's important that you check this during your time here at USD to make sure that you're in good academic standing. From here, you can also review any outstanding requirements, your financial aid history, and things of that nature. I did want to talk to you all about appeals. So as I mentioned, financial aid is using information from 2 years ago. We understand that a lot has happened in 2 years, right? A lot can change financially. So for example, your family may have encountered unemployment, reduction in earning, maybe there was high medical expenses. You know, a lot of different extenuating circumstances are potentially happening to you and your family. If that is the case, we want you to appeal. And this would be called a special circumstance appeal form. And it is available now. You go to the One Stop website, you'll be able to access it. And it is an electronic form that if you are a dependent student, you'll fill out with your parent. So please know this is an option to you if you do need it and your situation applies to the reasons I've outlined. And this is what the form looks like. You see the web address there on your screen, right on the One Stop website. You'll click on the special circumstances section under the appeals, and it'll have a link to the form. If you run into any problems, you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to us and we can help you get that appeal in. I would encourage you to submit it as soon as possible because they can sometimes take 2 weeks or more to submit, just depending on how many are in process. Also, I wanted to share with you a really nice resource that we just launched this last academic year called Scholarship Universe. So you might already see, you have a merit scholarship or maybe you got a grant, but we definitely encourage you to try and find outside scholarships. So through your My San Diego portal, when you go to that My Financial Aid page, you're going to see a section that looks just like this that says Scholarship Universe. And this tool allows you to create a profile. And when you create a profile, it's going to ask you different questions about yourself. And as you fill it out, this scholarship search tool is actually going to match you with scholarships that have been vetted. And it's going to show you which ones would be good for you individually to apply for. So please, make this part of your summer job. There's not a lot of jobs where you could spend an hour working and maybe get $1,000 scholarship. So please, we do encourage you bring in as many outside scholarships as you can to help reduce your loans as well as any out-of-pocket costs that you might have. So now, you've heard all about financial aid. I'm going to hand things over to Rachel, and she's going to talk to you about your bill.
Thanks, Sibylla. So I get to talk about your bill. I know that's a fun topic, right? So you're going to go onto your portal, just like where we were when Miranda was showing us under the Torero Hub, and you're going to find your My Student account. So we're just going to go over billing, payments, and refunds. So what you're going to see is under the Torero Hub, under the My Student Account link, you'll click on that link, and this page will come up for you. You're going to see the My Online Student Account, and it's highlighted in blue. You're also going to see to the right of it a thing that reads tax documents. Now, it's not important right now, but I just kind of wanted to broach it down the line a little bit. Parents might be asking, hey, where's that 1098T? This is where you can access it. Under the 1098T, you're also going to see something that reads Title IV Authorization. What is Title IV authorization? So Title IV authorization simply means that USD is allowed to use federal funds to pay for miscellaneous charges that are on your account. It's not a big deal until it becomes a big deal. So please do authorize your Title IV. There's another thing I wanted to say about your My Online Student account. Make sure you use Google Chrome. So it doesn't like Safari, it doesn't like Firefox, but it likes Google Chrome. So just to make life a little less stressful, let's use Google Chrome when clicking on My Online Student account. Also, disable pop-up blockers. For some reason, sometimes we get pop-up blockers, especially our Apple users, for some reason, pop-up blockers. So make sure you disable those, and then you click on this blue highlighted link that reads My Online Student Account. It'll bring us to this black and white page here that just reads Overview, right? If you look on the left, you're going to see My Account, Overview, Payment Plans, Make a Payment, Transactions, and Statements. It is simply the way that it looks. You cannot break it. Go ahead and click around, kind of figure things out on there. When you want to enroll in a payment plan, you'll see Payment Plans on the left. You'll see My Account on the very top. That's when you can look at all of your statements and your different transactions. When you want to look at your billing statements and you click on statements, you're going to see that we have billing statements emailed every month. They're emailed the first week of every month, and then they're due the first day of the following month. So tuition and fees, they're due August 24th. And tuition and fees include housing, meal plan, health insurance. Then the next month when it's due, you'll also see new institutional charges, such as parking permits, rec class fees, book surcharges, other things like that. I wanted to talk about course fees. Parents often ask, what is a course fee? So sometimes chemistry classes, which has labs, will have a $10 lab fee. It's for just in case students break things in the class, there are lab fees connected. Let's say there's a rec class that goes on trips. They also have fees connected. So that's what it means by course fees. What I also wanted to bring up in this is that when Miranda had talked about FERPA, this is where FERPA really is very important. When parents call in and want to discuss the student account, we really can't discuss it unless they've been FERPA authorized. So please do authorize your parents. Help them out a little bit when they call us. So this is just an example of what the billing statements look like. You're going to get a billing statement once a month, like we said. Honestly, whether there's activity or not, just check your billing statement. It's always best to be on top of it, right? You don't want to accrue any late fees. You just want to see what's going on, even if there's not a whole lot going on. Remember, you're here to go to school. You're not here to stress out about billing. So let's just keep on top of it and check your billing statements once a month. And let your parents know one of the big things to remember about USD is we don't accept credit or debit cards when paying your bill. So please do make sure that you attach a routing number and a checking or savings account number to pay your bills. So this is what you're going to see when you are going to actually make a payment. You're going to click on the Make a Payment tab and you're going to hit Continue. And that's when you're going to use your routing number from a checking or savings account to pay your bills. There are different ways to pay, right? The ones that we're discussing right now, you can pay online using a checking or savings account number and a routing number. You can also pay using the US Postal Service, right? You can send a check or a money order. You can also use a 529 plan. The 529 plan is a little bit different. The 529 institution sends the check straight to USD. Please make sure when you're having your 529 sent to us that you allow 2 weeks. Sometimes it gets to us quicker, but let's just err on the side of caution and send it 2 weeks prior to the due date. The 529s can take a little bit of time. Please also make sure to put your student's ID number on there as well as their name, just so that you're paying for your child and not someone else's. There is also a way to pay in cash. We do not take cash inside the One Stop office, but you can pay cash at the Hughes Administration Center, and that is just right across the way from the Immaculata Church. It's actually, when you enter, it's on the second floor and it's behind a big, beautiful tapestry. And you'll see the cashier's office right there if you'd like to pay your tuition in cash. There's other ways to pay as well. You can enroll in a payment plan. So let's say you decide to take a little bit of financial aid, but you want to not take all the financial aid. You want to pay partial out of pocket. That's also fine. So if you wanted to enroll in a payment plan, there's a $50 enrollment fee per semester. So that's important. You have to enroll per semester. There's no interest, but there is that $50 enrollment fee. So fall you enroll, and then you enroll again in spring. That being said, you can do auto pay in the payment plan, or you can do manual pay, where you just pay the first of the month on your own via your online student account or via check coming into the office. So this is where you enroll in your payment plan. You just literally click on the left side of your screen and click payment plan, and you can enroll in a payment plan that way. So this is just an example of the 5-month payment plan. As you see, you will receive your first bill the first week of August, due then on the 24th. Again, you don't have to pay it in full if you're enrolling in a payment plan. You just enroll in the payment plan, the $50 fee, and you pay that sometime in between the time that you get your first bill and then the 24th. Then the next payment would be due September 1, then October 1, November 1, and December 1. This is an example of the 4-month. Now the 4-month, obviously the chunks of money are a little bit bigger. The increments are a little bit further apart though. You get a reprieve for the month of September. So you would enroll, by the 24th, the last day, right? Because tuition is due on the 24th. So you'd enroll by the 24th, but then your next payment wouldn't be due until October 1. So that just gives you a little bit of time to breathe before the next payment is due. But again, it's a little bit bigger of a chunk, so it's totally up to you. We just like to offer 2 different plans just to help out whatever is better for your family. The 529 plan. So the 529 plan, if you have that, it goes from one institution to us. So like I said previously, please make sure to allow for at least 2 weeks to get to us. And please make sure that you put your child's information on there. The ID number begins with 2 zeros, and then your student's name. Do understand that if, let's say, you owe X amount, but you send too much, the refund will not be sent to you. It will not be sent to the parent. It will not be sent to the student. It will be sent back to the 529 plan unless you request that you have us hold it onto the student's account, and then we can use it for other charges that come up. But please keep that in mind. So if there's any sort of overage from the 529, unfortunately, we cannot send it to the student or the parent. It must go back to the 529. And again, just please make sure that you allow 2 weeks. I know here it says 1 to 2 weeks. I say 2 weeks just to make everything safe. Refunds. Okay, this is the favorite. So the refund's the best part of the loan, right? So you take out a loan and you have a little refund at the end of that. You have two choices as far as refunds. You can opt into the direct deposit, or you can just get refunded by paper check to the mailing address that we have. So I suggest enrolling in direct deposit. You would enroll via your portal. You would just put in your routing number and your checking or savings account number. And whenever you get a refund, it'll go straight to that designated direct deposit account. It usually takes 2 to 3 business days, sometimes sooner, but usually not longer than 3 days. The other option, obviously, is having a paper check cut and mailed to your mailing address. That takes 5 to 7 business days. And sometimes it does get lost in the mail. And what if you move? And it's just, it's not my favorite. If a student asks me, I would say enroll in direct deposit. That way you get your refund sooner so that you can pay your rent, for food, books, whatever you need that money for. I did want to broach the Parent Plus loan refund a little bit different than other refunds. So when your parents apply for the Parent Plus loan on studentaid.gov, there is a little box on that application that they can click that reads return to student. So if there is a refund and the box is clicked, we can refund you, the student, the Parent Plus loan. But if that box is not clicked, then that refund is a paper check cut and mailed to your parents using the address that they used on the Parent Plus application. So that's just an important thing to know when your parents are doing the Parent Plus application. If they want you to get the refund, please have them click that box. The direct deposit sign up. So here we go with direct deposit. So you would find this on the first tab that reads My Account. So you're going to click on the first tab on the left, which reads My Account, and all of your information is going to come up. And this is where you enroll in direct deposit. And you can do this at any point. You can do it, in August, you can do it in October. It really doesn't matter. But I suggest the sooner the better when enrolling in direct deposit, so that when loans pay out, 2 to 3 business days, you have that money and you can get along with having a good time at USD and having a little bit of extra money in your pocket. Updating your mailing address. So this is for those that want a paper check, which is fine too. But just do make sure that if you get a paper refund, that your address is correct. So you can update your mailing address from your Torero Services link, which is right here on the Torero Hub. And you can see here where it says update address, phone number, email, preferred name. Just click on any and all of those blue links and you can update your address. You can update your phone number, email, and your preferred name. The Torero Services tab is a great multifaceted tab that you can add money to your campus cash, onto your card, and all kinds of things. I think one of the things that I just wanted to stress before I turn it over to Miranda to talk about health insurance is that this portal is here to help you and you can't break it. So please click around and you might actually learn something. So Miranda, I'm going to pass it over to you for health insurance.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so like Rachel said, I'll be discussing health insurance, which is another item related to your student account. All full-time students are required to have health insurance, and USD provides a student health insurance plan through Aetna. Coverage is from August 1st of this year through July 31st of 2023. If you enroll before August 1st, coverage will begin August 1st. Otherwise, coverage will begin or activate 4 to 5 business days after enrollment. There is a cost associated with the health insurance. It's about $3,900 per year, which will be split into 2 between your fall and spring billing statements, which would come out to about $1,950 per semester. If you did want to enroll, please do so by September 14th via the Gallagher link that's available on this slide. And don't forget to authorize Title IV under the Student Accounts tab in the My San Diego portal if you want to apply federal funding for those charges. If you alternatively have your own health insurance, be sure to waive out of the USD health insurance plan also by September 14th. Otherwise, you'll be automatically enrolled and charged. So just something to keep in mind, September 14th, special date. Next up, earlier we had mentioned the new student checklist and that your fall schedule will be created by your academic advisors based on your responses to the advising questionnaire. So once your class schedule is released, you will see this new portlet under the Torero Hub tab called My Academics. And this is a screenshot of what the page looks like. There is information on this page that provides links and information for how to view your class schedule, search for classes, register for classes in the spring, and even to make changes to your fall schedule, which you'll be able to do once you've met with your faculty advisor during orientation. You can also check for holds that may prevent you from making changes to your registration. This would include the advisor hold, which would be removed once you meet with your advisor. And you might also see an immunization hold from the Student Health Center. So be sure to complete those requirements if you haven't already. Another thing on this page that I want to draw attention to and note is the link to DegreeWorks. And DegreeWorks is a personalized roadmap that can kind of help you track what academic requirements you've completed and what requirements are outstanding as you're on your way to graduation. So as with all the pages on the portal, like Rachel said, we encourage you to explore once you get access to specific pages as they open up, and just familiarize yourself with all the resources that are available. With that, I'm going to pass it to Sibylla.
Right. Thanks, Miranda. Okay, everyone, I know we've gone over a lot of information, so we are in the home stretch. I wanted to share with you that we have a My San Diego mobile app. I know pretty much everyone keeps their phone with them these days. So if that sounds like you, go on over to your app store and download the My San Diego mobile app. From this, you'll actually have your ID card digitally, which is really nice. You'll have access to view your schedule. You can see your grades, where the trams are. You can even use your campus cash through your app to pay for things and dining. So really helpful app to have. So we encourage you to download that. Also, throughout the school year, there are going to be a lot of dates and deadlines. So if you are on social media, so are we. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you follow us, like us, be our friend, all of those good things, you will get all of those reminders of when it's time to register, when the financial aid application opens up for the following year. So if you don't want to remember those things, go ahead and get on social media with us, and we will remind you so that you don't have to remember. All right, everyone. So I'm going to give you just a brief recap of things to remember that we've covered today. First off, FERPA. If you're going to have a parent or a guardian that's going to help you with some of these more business aspects of being a student, do them a favor and add them onto your FERPA form so that we can give them any information that you authorize us to. Financial aid. If you're planning to use financial aid, definitely go to the portal, check out any remaining financial aid requirements so that your financial aid can come in on time when the semester starts. Mark your calendar. August 24th is when the tuition deadline is coming up. So you'll want to either pay in full, make sure your financial aid is covering everything, or sign up for a payment plan by that date. We didn't really touch on this too much today, but all students are required to submit immunization forms. So you're going to want to go ahead and go to your My Wellness portal, which you can access through your My San Diego portal. There is a link in there, and you're going to want to upload your immunization information that's being asked for. Make sure over the summer that you do send your final high school transcript and your AP and IB scores into us. Those are important when building your schedule for the fall semester. And health insurance, I know we touched on that. Make sure to mark your calendar for that waiver deadline. If you don't plan to use health insurance, the waiver deadline is September 14th. Remember, if you don't do anything, you're going to be opted in, which means you're going to have an extra charge for the health insurance, and it is an annual plan. And then the mobile app that I just touched on, if you want to be able to access your ID card on your phone, see where those trams are, see your schedule, go ahead and download the app. And then last but not least, social media. If you want to join us on social media, we will send you reminders throughout the school year of important dates and deadlines. So we really appreciate that you joined us today. I know we covered a lot of information, so I'm going to leave you with our contact information. So if you have other questions after this, meal plan, ID card questions, those are going to go over to Campus Card Services. You can see their email address here. If you have questions for Brandon and his team about housing, you're going to reach out to housing@sandiego.edu. And then all the other topics, financial aid, billing, payment, that's going to be one stop. So maybe you have some burning questions right now that came up during this webinar, and that's great because we are about to have a live chat. So get those questions ready, and we're about ready to get started and help answer them. So have a wonderful night.